Hello! Welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is Birch and Lily, where I talk about all of the crafty goodness that I've been up to over the past little while. Today is, I don't even know what day it is. Today is May 24th and it is a cross-stitch catch-up video for you. I'm going to be talking about everything that I worked on over the past month while I was gone back home in Canada for my sister's wedding. And I do also have some fun haul type items to show you as well at the end of everything. So yeah, there are multiple places you can find me on the internet. The most active would be on Instagram at birch.and.lily. And you can also find me on both Ravelry and Love Crafts with all of my knitting patterns. I design a lot of sock patterns, shawls, all that fun stuff. So if you are interested in that, please check out all the links down below in my description. And one other thing that I wanted to make sure that you all knew about is while I was gone for my sister's wedding, I was uploading a whole bunch of tutorials. I have a whole bunch of cross-stitch ones up, and some knitting ones, all sorts of things, how to start cross stitch, how to start knitting, different knitting techniques, all sorts of things. Instead of me rambling on about it, definitely check out my channel and all my other videos so that you can figure out what I have up for those and if any of those could help you out at all. So we might as well jump on in. I have two finished objects, which I'm so excited about. And of course, knowing me, I did not iron them, but I hope you enjoy seeing them still nonetheless. So the first project that I was able to finish up is a long-standing work in progress, and I'm so excited to have it done. This is Merrily, Merrily, We Welcome Spring by Blackbird Designs, and here it is. So I stitched this up on 40 count country Mocha. I did use all of the called for threads except for one. What I did was change Mountain Mist to St. Bernard, just because I didn't have that floss and it was out of stock at that time and I just did not want to bother. So yes, stitched on a 40 count. I stitched this one thread over two linen threads on the 40 count, and I am so pleased with this. I did change a couple things around. If you see in the bottom left corner there, that's where I ended up putting the date. I moved it from the position that the pattern calls for, just so I could fit initials a little bit better, because I kind of turned this into a family tree. So I have all of my husband's side of the family and all of my side of the family, just siblings and parents. But I put all of them on there, so moving the year just helped everything fit a little bit better. But I'm so pleased with this. There are some mistakes. I did mess up the border ever so slightly, but you can't really tell, so I'm glad you can't tell. It was, once I figured out I had a mistake with it, it was way too late to rip it all back, and I had zero desire to do so. So yeah, I basically worked on this probably for a couple weeks straight while we were home, because I just really wanted to finish it, and I'm so glad that I did because it's so beautiful. So I'll definitely be in the market to get this framed soon. I'm not sure what I want to frame it with, how I want to frame it, but I will give it an iron. And all of my finished projects I actually just have clipped to hangers in my closet over there. And that's how I hang them up once they're ironed, so that they don't get all wrinkly on me and they can kind of breathe, I guess, because I've been told linen doesn't do well in plastic bags, nor do I want to put finished projects in plastic bags after I've ironed them. But very pleased to have this done. It's an absolutely beautiful project and I'm so happy to have it finished. And then the other project that I finished, I still have literally no idea how I got this done, because when I showed like what I was bringing to work on while we went back home, I had barely started this. Like, I had zero work done on it, but I really wanted to leave all of the patterns in this set for my mom to be able to do, because she had told me that she really enjoyed them. And so I think that was kind of why I put so much effort into this and really wanted to get it done, so that I could leave every single spring, summer, winter, fall pattern with her when we left. So this here is Tulip House Sampler. It's a pattern by Hands On Design. Hopefully it doesn't blow out too much. I'll keep it a little bit further back. So I did not stitch this project up with all the called for threads. I did in fact do my own conversion. And I will try and remember to put that down in the description below. The pattern calls for a lot of pink colors and reds. pretty much pink actually, in the tulips, and I switched all of those out for purples because I am not a pink girl in the slightest. I do not like pink, not a fan. So I decided that I would love this more if I switched it out to a whole bunch of purple tones. So I stitched this up on a 28 count black Jobelan. I did stitch this 2 threads over 2 linen threads. And like I said, all called for colors minus the purples that I changed, and I will try and remember to link those down below. So this actually is the last one I had in this series. I have all the other ones finished. Strangely enough, I have them all, well, no, not strangely enough. I was going to say I have them all finished, but somehow I still have fall up. But this was the one I needed to put up right now because it's spring. So I should really get this one finished off. I have a frame going on one of the shelves downstairs that I have just the finished pieces attached to with magnets and washers so I can change them out every season. And so the fall one has been up right now because I didn't have winter finished. I finished that recently, and then I didn't have spring finished in time, and I finish it now. But then do I even bother finishing it because it's almost summer and I do have summer finished to put up? Oh, the joys of recording a video. My phone crashed, and thankfully it did save the previous file, but I'm sure things have shifted now and looks different, so sorry about that. I was just finishing up talking about my Tulip House sampler, and yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put it up because it's almost summer, so we'll see. Unless, yeah, I'm not really in a finishing of projects mood, so I think we'll just leave it until next year, but I'm glad to have it done. So that is all I finished cross-stitch wise while I was away, but I did work on a couple projects. I have some new starts and a couple things you guys have seen before, but I've made some progress on. So let's jump into that. So first, let's take a look at Jane Cowie. This is a pattern by the Scarlett House, and it is my first project that I have done with silks, and I'm really enjoying it. I have it here in this project bag from Pretty Southern, of course, always. And yeah, like I said, I'm really liking the silks. So I am using all of the called for silks. These are all needlepoint ink. Lots of pretty colors. There's a lot of pink, but then I love these pops of blue that are in there as well. And this is a sampler reproduction, so basically a young girl worked on this however many years ago. I can't remember what the year is on this. 1850. So Jane worked on this in 1850, and then the designer of the Scarlett House is lucky enough to find it intact enough to be able to reproduce it for us stitchers now to work on. So I'm stitching this up on 46 count. This is my first 46 count project, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I don't see too much difference between this and working with a 40 count, so the fact that it makes the pieces a little bit smaller, I am a fan of, and I think I will continue working a lot on 46 count, especially for these bigger reproduction pieces. Probably not for smaller things, but we'll see what I end up doing. So the fabric that I'm using for this project is 46 count cream, and let's see, yeah, that looks pretty good. That's actually quite close to what it looks like. But this is what I have done so far. Just been working away on the border. I've been trying really hard to make myself finish the border on each page before I move on to anything else, like more of the fun stuff. And I think it's been working really well for me. So I think I will continue to do that. And then the border, if it's stitched correctly, it's really easy to count everything else off of it. So that is kind of what I've been doing. I'm stitching this one thread over 2 linen threads, and I'm really, really happy with it. So yeah, I did start that project while we were gone. I did work on it, shockingly, I don't know how, in the car for a little bit. There were a couple bouts of our drive that weren't too bumpy, so I was able to work on it a little bit. I definitely did not make my first start on it while we were driving. I did that when we were in a more stable place. But I did put a little bit of work on there. So really enjoying Jane Cowie. And then I might as well show you another new start, because new starts are fun. This is another Pretty Southern project bag. I'm kind of sad about this one because for some reason my needle was sticking out of the fabric when I put it away. And then I may have accidentally, It was like leaned up against the one side of the car, kind of on the floor in the passenger seat with me, and I poked my foot into it, and the needle poked through the vinyl into my foot, which was not ideal. So yeah, there's a hole in the vinyl now, but what can I do? There could be worse things. The rest of the bag is intact. But this here is My Early Days, a sampler by Plum Street Samplers. Again, I'm using all of the call for threads. I need to make a tag for this one here. For some reason, I didn't have it, and I had to pick it up back home so that I could work on part of the sampler. But I am using all of the call for threads, and I love that Paulette chooses to use a lot of DMC in her samplers now, because if you don't use it for a large section of the piece, you don't see the variegation anyways, so what's the point of paying for a more expensive over-dyed thread? I don't see the point. So I really appreciate that she does that, but this piece has a lot of beautiful colors in it. Pop of pink, really cute. And I'm stitching this piece up on Stone Gray. Is this a 40 count or a 46? It's a 40 count Stone Gray, which is not the called for fabric, but I'm loving how this looks on it. Again, I'm doing a lot of work on the border, and I'm really happy that I'm doing so because, of course, well, I'm sure some people enjoy stitching borders, but I sure don't. So here we go. This fabric is just not showing up. I don't know if I get it closer. Yeah, that gives actually a really decent representation of the color of the fabric. But I'm stitching this one thread over 2 linen threads, like I said, with all the called for colors. And I am so incredibly happy with how this is turning out. And the border is pretty darn easy to follow. So I think that's also why I got so much done on this. This was the majority of my car stitching on the way back home. I just worked away on the border, and now I kind of know the margins of the piece a little bit better, which makes me feel good. So I did do the little butterfly there. Not all of there's a little bit of over one in it, and I haven't done all of the over one in it yet, because over one in a car is a terrible idea. But I've done a decent amount on the border. I'm really enjoying it. This piece is gorgeous. I don't think it's a companion piece to a Savior's Praise, or not a Savior's Praise, a Shepherd's Song, but it looks really good next to it. So I'm kind of excited to hang this up next to a Shepherd's Song, because I do have that one finished and it's absolutely beautiful, and I think they would look really cute together. And then I have a couple projects that were already started before I left, but I did put a little bit of work into both of them, so I thought I would show you. So the first of those projects is Spring Squirrel by the Blue Flower, which is not going to be done in time for spring, but that's okay. This bag here is made by Erica D. House. I believe she's on Etsy. Again, I will try and remember to link her down below. Also, apologies again for the lighting. I don't know what's going on. I think today the problem is I have a little bit of a burn and my phone's confused. I don't know. I'm trying my best to, I think the further back I get, the worse it blows out. I don't know, but I'm trying my best. So thank you for bearing with me over these next couple weeks where I get used to the settings on my camera again. It's weird how a month away can just totally screw everything up with that sort of stuff. So, because I think before I left, I was just finally figuring out the right configuration, and now I feel like I'm starting all over again. But anyways, back to Spring Squirrel. So I am, again, using all of the called for threads for this project. There's just a small number, which I appreciate, but these beautiful, like, pastel-y sort of spring colors. I am missing one thread still. I should check again if it's back in stock. But I believe it's Adobe from the Gentle Art that I haven't been able to find. And that has kind of put this piece at a little bit of a standstill, because it seems like every part that I'm at now kind of needs that color. So yeah, I feel like I'm at a standstill. But anyways, I did get a little bit done on it. I'm stitching this up on 40 count mallow, and like I said, I'm using all of the call for threads. I'm stitching this one thread over 2 linen threads. And here we are. Mostly what I got done was just a little bit more filling in of the squirrel's body. Otherwise, everything else there was something that I did before. But once I finished up the Tulip House sampler, this is what I pulled out to work on for a little while. And then I went back to knitting, and then I jumped around like crazy, but yeah, just a little bit done on that, but it's a cute little project, and it's nice to pull out a smaller piece once in a while because I do have a lot of samplers that I'm working on. And finally, this should be dubbed the never-ending project because who knows when I'll finish it, but I love it so much. This is a Saviour's Praise by Shakespeare's Peddler in another pretty southern bag. I am stitching this up as well with all of the called for threads. I have realized that I do prefer, well, minus these stangly guys here, but I do prefer my threads this length. So as I've been pulling something out and working on it, I have been cutting them all shorter. I haven't got to Spring Squirrel yet, but I find, I know I've talked, oh, it was like quite a few episodes ago, but about how my threads were shredding and breaking on me a lot, and I think it's because I was using them too long. So these are shorter now, and yes, I have to weave in more ends into the back and start more often, but it doesn't shred on me, and I think that's really worth it in the long run because I'm not wasting as much of my floss. So yeah, a little update on that. But this calls for a lot of anchor threads and a couple weeks dye works, so definitely affordable on the thread end of things, which is really nice. And I am stitching this piece up on the called for 40 count beach brew. And here we are. So I worked some on the border on the left side there. I put some of the trees in close to that border as well. Just a couple little things, but we're getting somewhere with it. And getting close to the bottom edge. I might actually, instead of working across, again like I did across the top, I might move down and finish off the border on that one side and kind of start working across the bottom as well. Just because I always panic that I don't have enough fabric, and it would reassure me to know that I've got the whole bottom fitting on there. So I think that is my plan. I love this piece so much. It's so pretty. I try to pull it out every Sunday just because it's a Sunday piece. It's got the Beatitudes all around the outside, and, or sorry, not the Beatitudes. What's wrong with me? Fruits of the Spirit. Either way, they're all around the outside, so it's kind of a nice piece to work on Sundays. And I like that habit, so yeah. That is all I worked on cross-stitch wise. I'm so excited to have 2 pieces done. That's so crazy. It's not very often that happens, but I guess when you don't record for a month, it happens. But like I said, I have a couple little haul types things that I wanted to show you. I usually don't do hauls on here just because, I'll be honest, they make me a little uncomfortable. Not so much when I see other people's, but I just feel bad sitting here talking about things that I got. But I do want to show you a couple little things, and there's a reason. So the first here, I have this little stack. As you know, if you've been watching for a little bit, thank you for joining me if you're a subscriber. And if you're new, thank you as well. And if you jump back a couple episodes, I have so much stuff to show you. I'm sure I could keep you busy for quite some time. But anyways, I did have a giveaway on, I think, the last cross-stitch episode that I put up, and one of the winners was so sweet and so kind and surprised me with a package. And my name's Karen. I won't say anything else because I don't want to give away information. I'm not sure if she wants me to or not, but she sent me a cute little thank you package, and it made my day so much I wanted to cry. I did not expect it at all. I did not know it was coming. It showed up in my mailbox, and I was like, that name looks really familiar. Like, who is that? And I opened it up, and it's the sweetest little package of little treats, and she obviously knows my favorite color because everything is purple, which makes it even better. But it came with this beautiful little floss ring with my initial on it, which I can't decide. Maybe I'll put it into Jane Cowie because it kind of matches the bag. I'll have to decide, but I'm definitely going to put this into a project because it's so cute. And then it also, I think she must have made this herself. This beautiful little needle. Goodness. Needle minder. Super, super cute. Everything is butterfly themed, which I also love. My grandma loves butterflies, so they're kind of special to me as well. So I'm really, I don't know. Everything about this is fantastic and made my day so much. And then there's one of these little, I don't know what these are called, but for like your floss scraps and stuff, you can put them in here and they stick to, I always blank. The felt. They stick to the felt and they don't go away on you. So this is going to go into another project as well. It's got a little snap at the top here so that it stays closed. And I have nails now and I can't close anything. So we'll just close that later. And then the other thing that I'm really excited about are these little like project information cards, and they're all in cute little envelopes stamped with a butterfly, but they have space to put like all the information about your project on it. The designer, the fabric, when you started it, when you finished it, when you fully finished it. So I think I'm going to put these actually on the backs of the frames of some of my finished object or my finished projects. Because I always, like, I guess I have everything documented in these videos, but if someone doesn't know to go watch the video, how are they going to know the information about a project if they got it one day? So, because whoever's going to get handed down all my projects, either they're going to hate me or they're going to love me. But then at least they would know the information about them. Of course it's blowing out because it's white. But these are absolutely adorable. And Karen, you'll have to let me know, do you have an Etsy shop or do you sell all of this stuff? Because it's beautiful. And I would love to let people know if you do. So maybe I'll ask you on Instagram. I'm sure by the time this goes up, you'll have heard from me already because I'm going to ask you. I would love to be able to link that down below for everyone so they know if you have a shop or not. But yeah, thank you so much. It was so sweet of you. So unnecessary, but totally made my day. I needed it today, we'll put it that way. So thank you so much. Then the other thing I wanted to show you guys, because I know a lot of people are always asking, like, where do you find where to start your cross stitch piece? I never know what to do. Measuring it is hard. I get it. It is. I do have a video. That's one of the tutorials I recorded, was how to find where to start. So if you're interested in that, check out my channel. I'll try again to remember to link it down below. I try to take notes as I'm editing the video on my show notes, and sometimes I miss things. But I found this corner gauge at Hobby Lobby, and I don't know, they've came out with some of the cutest little things ever. And I have this, okay, yeah, if I hold it up close enough, it doesn't blow out. Because I wanted to keep the packaging on it so that you would know what it looked like. But how cute is this? And I'll pull it out of the bag. But basically, how this works is it's got all these little measurements of, what does this one have? 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 2.5 inches. But you line the corner of this up to the corner of your piece. So let's pretend this is my cross stitch piece. You line the corner up, and then you can just pick one of the holes. It'll be, oh, except I line the corner. Oh, I guess it has to go that way. To get, because I start in the top left. If you started in the top right, you would hold it that way. Anyways, that doesn't matter. But then you can pick and just put your needle right in through one of those holes, and you don't have to sit there with a measuring tape to figure out where you want to start your piece. So I thought that was absolutely adorable, and it was so cheap. It was only, what, $3? Yeah, it was only $3. So if you have a Hobby Lobby near you, you need to go check out some of the stuff they have, because there were so many other cute things, and a lot of them all had this little like bee and flower theme, and it's so cute and I love it. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys that because I thought it was a really great find. So yeah, that is all I have to talk about this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new, if you're not, either way, it means so much to me, and I'm very grateful that everyone comes around and watches my videos and listens to me ramble all the time. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love if you considered doing so. If you liked what you saw today, also hit the thumbs up button, because YouTube is silly and sometimes comments and subscriptions don't mean anything to the algorithm. But yeah, I will stop rambling with all this end stuff and just say thank you again for joining me, and I will see you guys again next Tuesday for a knitting episode. Bye! you.